All members, please come to the floor and take your seats. All members, come to the floor and take your seats. The hour convening having arrived. All members will please take your seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify your presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines, Mr. Clerk. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 99th House District, Representative Matt Reeves. Representative Reeves.
Thank you, Speaker Byrne, and good morning, House colleagues. I'm proud to introduce to you Pastor Chuck Allen of Sugar Hill Church in Gwinnett County, who's joined this morning by his wonderful wife, Jenny, who's there on the front row. Pastor Chuck serves as a Gwinnett County Police Chaplain as well as on the Gwinnett County School Superintendent's Business Leaders Council. He is the head pastor of Sugar Hill Church, which has about 6,000 members and is very active in a lot of areas of life in Gwinnett County. Being a pastor is his second career. He was a builder and developer before going into the ministry. And his church is engaged in a lot of things, such as leading the Meals on Wheels program in our part of Gwinnett County, and also a mental health ministry called Clear Path Counseling Network. And he also has a podcast, a regular podcast called the Positive Talk Podcast, and Lord knows we need more positive talk in this day and age. Sugar Hill Church actively supports good work in the Lanier High School area in Gwinnett County, and the last time I visited his church one of the people leading worship, they recognized him for celebrating Cinco no Drinko, 5 years being clean and sober. And so he is fighting addiction successfully and openly through the good news in Gwinnett County. So since we have a 3-day weekend, we're celebrating Martin Luther King Day on Monday and a presidential inauguration and unfortunately a national championship that we might not be as excited about. He's going to give us some inspiring words to get us through a 3-day weekend. Pastor Chuck Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good to have you, Chuck.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for the privilege to be with you today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, legislatures, my friend and Representative Matt Reeves. Kind of like Elizabeth Taylor told one of her husbands, don't worry, I won't keep you long. I do bring you greetings from Gwinnett County and Sugar Hill, Georgia, and it's good to be back in this house. It's been several years since I've done this, but it's a great joy and honor. My daddy was a state representative and a state senator in another state, and so it's a privilege for me to be back in a place I'm comfortable with. My encouragement to you this morning comes from Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, that says, let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we'll reap if we don't give up. I imagine the joys of elected office can rapidly disintegrate into lonely leadership, frustratingly challenging divisiveness and strain. My guess is, I told Mr. Speaker earlier, you guys are about like me. We're seen in the same esteem in the public. Preachers, insurance salesmen, used car salesmen, and, well, politicians. And yet, this country and this great state needs you more than ever. We need women and men of character and decency and strength and the ability to say this is right, this is wrong, and let's go do what's right. The Apostle Paul could have been speaking in these hallowed halls in this very capital when he said to the Philippians in chapter 3, let's forget what is behind us and reach forward to what's ahead, because I am one of those folks who've lived in the great state of Georgia since 1972, and I'm absolutely certain our best days are ahead of us, and they're right here, right now, and much of that is because of you. Thank you for all that you do. I'll leave you with this last word before we pray and pledge. I'd give you this word, which is the Chuck Yeager speech, which I give a bunch of young preachers all the time when I speak to them. In 1947, they sent these group of young hotshot pilots down to the desert southwest of America. They were about to try and break the sound barrier flying parallel to the ground. They put them in these stubby wing little rocket ships. And every time they would approach what we now know as Mach 1, the turbulence in that ship would be so severe, they only had one of 3 opportunities. They could pull back on the throttle and land safely, and everything was good except for one thing. They didn't accomplish the mission for which they were tasked. They had another option. They could leave it like it was, and everything would be just fine, except those were the pilots that crashed and burned because the assumption was it would just work out. You know, I think we've learned it does not just work out. And on this fateful day in 1947, Chuck Yeager pushed the throttle forward. And the ground crew heard for the first time that sonic boom from a plane. And after that crash and that boom, there were seconds because of breaking the sound barrier. They heard nothing on the radio, and they hung their heads and thought themselves, we've lost another pilot, we've lost another ship. A few seconds later, they heard these words over the radio, you won't believe how smooth it is on the other side. And my encouragement to you, legislators, is to know this great state and this great nation needs you more than ever. Keep going. The work that you do matters. And like the Apostle Paul said, forget what is behind you and press on toward those things that matter most. You are men and women that this state and people like me count on. And on behalf of the great people of Gwinnett County and Sugar Hill, Georgia, thank you for all that you do. Mr. Speaker, thank you for this privilege. Would you join me as we pray? God of all creation, thank you in your creation and for these men and women and these leaders. Give this speaker and give these legislators wisdom from on high. Give them the ability to make choices that are well established and grounded in principles that matter. Give them character and decency and kindness and graciousness. Give them boldness to stand for those things which matter most and to protect the great state of Georgia and this great land. We thank you and praise you for this day. I pray we'd act and lead in a way in which you are pleased, and you can look at your creation and say, those are my men, those are my women, and I am so proud. Thank you for this day. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Would you join me as we salute? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless you. Go in peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Great job. Speaker, thank you.
Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. Members, join the pastor in the South Ante room for a photo and thank them for being here. Our doctor of the day today is brought to us by the gentleman from the 127th House District, Chairman Dr. Mark Newton. He's also agreed to be our doctor of the day today. Thank you, Dr. Newton, for doing that. Double duty today. Chair recognizes Chairman Hilton, Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Hilton, give the gentleman your attention, please.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day, and we have found it to be incredibly accurate.
Chairman Hilton, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. In a very meaningful way, he read it. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Abstention of the 104th moves the following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 67 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones to the 47th, abstention to the 104th, and Hatchett to the 155th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act making and providing appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Appropriations.
House Bill 68 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones to the 47th, abstention to the 104th, and Hatchett to the 155th. Bill be titled an act to make and provide appropriations for state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026.
Appropriations.
House Bill 69 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones to the 47th, abstention to the 104th, and Hatchett to the 155th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act making and providing appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Appropriations.
House Bill 70 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones to the 47th, abstention to the 104th, and Hatchett to the 155th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act making and providing appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Appropriations.
House Bill 71 by Representative Burns, 159, Jones to the 47th, abstention to the 104th, and Hatchett to the 155th. Bill be titled an act to make and provide appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025.
Appropriations.
House Bill 72 by Representative Burns, 159, Jones to the 47th, abstention to the 104th, and Hatchett to the 155th. Bill be titled an act to make and provide appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025.
Appropriations.
House Bill 73 by Representative Green to the 154th, a bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Education of Seminole County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 74 by Representative Powell to the 33rd, Washburn to the 144th, Jaspers to the 11th, Wilkerson to the 38th, Oliver to the 84th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 27 and Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated the Georgia Lottery for Education Act.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 75 by Representative Ridley the 22nd, Ridley the 6th, Horner the 3rd, Tarvin the 2nd, Chastain the 7th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 11 and Title 4 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to animal protection.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 76 by Representative Evans the 57th, Smith the 138th, and Berry the 56th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 32.2.3 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to development and transportation plans.
Transportation.
House Bill 77 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Yerda of the 152nd, Cameron of the 1st, Richardson of the 125th, and Corbett of the 174th. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 4, Chapter 6 and Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to right-of-way for operators of motor vehicles.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 78 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Carson of the 46th, Richardson of the 125th, Yerda of the 152nd, and Cameron of the 1st. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 7 and Chapter 20 of Title 47 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated the Public Retirement Systems Investment Law.
Retirement.
House Bill 79 by Representative Newton of the 100, Reeves of the 99th, Hilton of the 48th, Silcox of the 53rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to income taxes.
Ways and Means. Mr. Clerk, suspend just for a minute. Thank you, members. Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 80 by Representative Westbrook of the 163rd, Oliver of the 84th, Crawford of the 89th, Paris of the 142nd, Stevens of the 164th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 5 of Title 17 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating the disposition of property seized.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 81 by Representative Ballard of the 147th, Irwin of the 32nd, Townsend of the 179th, Persinger of the 119th, Dubnik of the 27th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 6 Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education compacts. Bill 82 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Martinez of the 111th, Oliver of the 84th, Powell of the 33rd, Worth of the 157th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to labor and industrial relations. The local bill. No, that was me. Troop County.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 83 by Representative Iowa the 50th, Stevens the 164th, Hawkins the 27th, Green the 154th, and Buckner the 137th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 11 and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to taxes on tobacco and vaping products.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 84 by Representative Iowa the 50th, Stevens the 64th, Hawkins the 27th, Green the 154th, Buckner the 137th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 11 and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to taxes on tobacco and vaping products.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 85 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Demonstration of the 104th, Burchett of the 176th, Hong of the 103rd, Gunner of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 6 of Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions concerning superior courts.
The Judiciary.
House Bill 86 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Demonstration of the 104th, Burchett of the 176th, Hong of the 103rd, Gunther of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 4574 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to annual salaries of certain state officials.
The
Of the 82nd, Williams, the 148th, Schofield, the 63rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to insurance.
Health.
House Bill 88 by Representative Barnes for the 86th, Drenner of the 85th, Clark of the 108th, Fry of the 122nd, Bernal the 77th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 6A of Article 7 of Chapter 3, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to state veterinary education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 89 by Representative Cooper, the 45th, Wade of the 9th, Gamble of the 15th, and Hong of the 103rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2A, Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Department of Public Health.
Public and Community Health.
House Bill 90 by Representative Astration of the 104th, Dickey of the 134th, Hagan of the 156th, and Buckner of the 137th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 48.5.7.4 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to preferential assessment for bona fide conservation use property.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 91 by Representative Cooper, the 45th, Carpenter the 4th, Jaspers the 11th, Dickey the 134th, Camp of the 135th. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 50 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to licensing.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 92 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Kelly the 16th, Williams the 148th, Irwin of the 32nd, Washburn of the 144th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 48.5, 44.2 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to base year homestead exemptions.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 93 by Representative Smith of the 18th. The bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 15.6.2 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the number of judges of superior courts.
Judiciary.
House Resolution 31 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd and Powell of the 33rd. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. R. George Strickland, Jr. and dedicating a bridge in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 32 by Representative Astration of the 104th, Dickey of the 134th, Hagan of the 156th, and Buckner of the 137th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to increase the maximum acreage to qualify for assessment and taxation.
Ways and Means.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 59 by Representative Glaze of the 67th, Evans of the 57th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Paris of the 142nd, Dawson of the 65th. A bill relating to program weights to reflect funds for payment of salaries and benefits, maximum class size, reporting requirements, application of specific school years. House Bill 60 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Hughley of the 141st, Oliver of the 84th, Holcomb of the 101st, Alexander of the 66th, and others. A bill relating to elementary and secondary education. House Bill 61 by Representative Seabaugh of the 34th, McDonald of the 26th, Corbett of the 174th, Mathis of the 133rd, and Crow of the 118th. The bill relating to annual license fees for operation of vehicles. House Bill 62 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. A bill relating to condominium associations and property owners associations. House Bill 63 by Representative Oliver of the 84th, Owl of the 50th, Park of the 107th, Tran of the 80th, Westbrook of the 163rd, and others. A bill relating to carrying and possession of firearms. House Bill 64 by Representative Oliver of the 84th, Owl of the 50th, Draper of the 90th, Roberts of the 52nd, Lupton of the 83rd, and others. A bill relating to crimes and offenses and insurance. House Bill 65 by Representative Moore of the 91st, Carpenter of the 4th, Donahue of the 31st, Drenner of the 85th, Crow of the 118th, and others. A bill relating to other state symbols. House Bill 66 by Representative Stevens of the 164th and Fleming of the 114th. A bill relating to title and ad valorem tax on motor vehicles. House Resolution 29 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Hatchett of the 155th, Burchett of the 176th, Gunter of the 8th, Lim of the 98th, and others. Resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide for the appropriation of funds received from certain legal judgments or settlements. House Resolution 30 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Gaines of the 120th, Stevens of the 164th, Reeves of the 99th, Hilton of the 48th, and others. A resolution expressing support for the permanent extension of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 through second readers.
Members will please take your seats. Representative Sanchez, you're recognized for a morning order. Give the gentleman your attention, please. And friends, Representative Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are here today to honor the life of an important environmental activist who dedicated their life to protecting nature. Manuel Esteban Baez Terán was someone who dedicated their life to helping our communities thrive and make sure we have a sustainable future. Tragically, tomorrow, January 18th, 2025, will be the second anniversary of Manuel's killing. Killed when peacefully protesting for the environment and against tearing down our forests right here in Atlanta. They were shot 57 times. Manuel was 26 years old. The killing of Manuel, an environmental activist, was a horrific and unprecedented injustice. But with Manuel's tragic death, they left behind their family, including their mother, Reverend Belkis Terán, and their brother, Pedro Terán, who are up in the gallery with us this morning, along with fellow friends and colleagues. If you would please stand. I want to recognize you all, and especially want to recognize Manuel's mother, Reverend Belkis Terán, because despite such a tragic loss, she has dedicated her life to continuing Manuel's legacy of protecting the forests, planting trees, and doing what we can to help preserve our greatest gift on this earth, Mother Nature. She has even started a nature-based healing center to heal those in the community in honor of Manuel. So please join me in welcoming Reverend Belkis Terán, the Terán family, and friends to honor the life and legacy of Manuel Terán, and let us remember Manuel to continue their fight for justice, peace, and the preservation of our environment. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Park Cannon is recognized for a morning order, and she has a number of friends joining her for a special morning order to honor a former senator and a member of this General Assembly. So I'll ask, to honor this former senator, Vincent Ford, I'll ask y'all all to stand as Representative Cannon recognizes his memory. Representative Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, members. I stand today to end this first legislative week of just honoring the life of Senator Vincent Fort, who served for over 15 years to be an elected official who cared deeply about working families and who would bend over backwards to make sure that folks had access to fair housing. He was actually successful in passing our strongest state predatory lending law, which allowed for us to move up out of the category of the most predatory zip code in the country. And his family is here with us today. I'd like to ask for his son, Zan, to stand and for us to, at this time, really let you know the importance of your father will continue to live on through the legacy that we push here at the state capitol. I'd like to also recognize his chief of staff for many years, Javier Brown, as well as the individuals who helped him to pass these laws, Ms. Vanessa Manley, Dr. Angela Brown. I just want to thank y'all for coming out today and putting on a beautiful ceremony for him on January 3rd as well as January 4th. He is now resting at the Southview Cemetery, so please do go and visit him. And we do also have his program here with us today, and would just ask if you're interested in signing the program, it will go to the family. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Cannon. Thank you, family, for being here. Senator Ford did a lot of good work here. We appreciated him. Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of Bryce Allen Johnson. Honoring the life and memory of Barry A. Brown. Recognizing the 51st anniversary of the Consulate General of Japan in Atlanta. Recognizing and congratulating Sheriff Ron Freeman. Commending Travis Strickland, the 2024 West Georgia Soil and Water Conservationist of the Year. Congratulating Great Dane upon the 125th anniversary of its founding. That completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? The chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. We're going to have some afternoon orders. So if you've signed up for an afternoon order, you need to get ready to bring us your afternoon order. I'm going to recognize Representative Brad Thomas. So here's our posture. We typically are going to allow 10 minutes for afternoon orders. We have a number of y'all signed up. But since we are nearing the end of the day and we've done pretty good on our timing this morning, instead of having a minute and a half, I'm going to allow all members that want to make an afternoon order 2 minutes, if you will. Okay, 2 minutes. After Representative Thomas is Representative Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise here to talk about the Georgia Legislator AI Workshop Program that's going to be held Tuesday, the week after appropriations, January 28th. It starts at noon, and lunch will be provided, and it will not be cooked by AIs. So please be there, and have a great weekend. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You're well.
No AI breakfast, no AI lunch. Good to know. Representative Carter is going to talk to us about the Heart Association again. Good stuff. Representative Carter.
Good morning. Good morning. Since most of us won't be here next week, for the most part, we're coming for a budget, but I want you to plan your wardrobe. So on Friday, February the 7th, we will be having the official Go Red for Women luncheon here at the Capitol from 12 to 2. So I want you, if you don't have red, to go shopping. Yeah, go shopping. Men, you can still wear red. So on that Friday, February the 7th, from 12 to 2, we are having our official Go Red for Women luncheon, and we hope that you will join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's make sure we support the Heart Association. Representative Hutchinson, and she's going to have a photo up. Representative Shelley Hutchinson, welcome to the well.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I want to talk to you about the Social Empowerment Center. It's also in my district. They are the mental health providers before, during, and after the Appalachia High School shooting. It also happens to be the agency that I started 22 years ago. When my staff called me that morning, all schools in Barrow were under lockdown. I have one staff member that was in her office for 6 hours with her desk barricaded against the door. The stories that we're getting from these kids will never go away. The only thing we can do is help them cope. And right now, I want to recognize my staff, who I'm incredibly proud of, who makes me proud every single day. That's just a few of them. We have about 100 employees that do in-home mental health services in Gwinnett, Barrow, Athens, Stevens, Banks. We go in Northeast Georgia where no other providers go. But I wanted to recognize this staff who continues to work at Appalachia High School, continues to work with the families who lost people. And the kids' stories of how they had to triage their teachers will never go away. So if we can give a round of applause to the heroes of Appalachia High School, my staff at the Social Empowerment Center, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative, for all of your work. We appreciate you and your staff. Representative Adenia is recognized for an afternoon order. You have the well, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today we are celebrating Martin Luther King. We have a celebration service that will be taking place at 10 a.m. at the North Wing Steps. You are all invited to be there. The governor, the speaker will also be there, and most importantly, we are going to be there because we're going to remember the memory of such a person that has impacted all our lives. One saying that I cherish a lot and I'd like to mention, life's most persistent and urgent question, what are you doing for others? And that is a quote that I've lived by. What are we doing for others? Mr. Speaker, thank you. See you all there.
Thank you, sir, for the announcement. 10:30 downstairs, we'll join the governor to celebrate the memory of Martin Luther King. Representative Charlize Byrd is recognized for an afternoon order in the morning. And friends.
Yesterday, what I witnessed outside those doors marks a dark and troubling moment. The arrest of the senator from the 53rd following his ban from entering the House chamber after making a statement that was met with disapproval strikes at the heart of our democratic principles. This unprecedented action undermines the integrity of our legislative process and sets a dangerous and unconstitutional precedent when a duly elected member of the General Assembly is barred from fulfilling his duties. When differences of opinion lead to exclusion and arrest rather than open dialogue, we erode the very foundation of our republic. This is about more than one individual. It is about protecting the principles of representative democracy and ensuring that every voice elected to this body has the opportunity to be heard. Let us reflect on the gravity of this moment and commit ourselves to upholding the rights and freedoms that define us as a state and a nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Wiedauer is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Marcus Wiedauer is recognized.
Good morning, colleagues. Afternoon order, I guess. I don't know how many of you got asked this question when you got elected for the first time, but the moment I got elected, somebody asked me what I was running for next. Did that happen to you? Right? Well, guess what? I'm not going anywhere. I love this house. I love this chamber. I love the family that we create. Certain individuals back in the back, I'm not allowed to say names, but you know who you are. From the other from the other party that I've become great friends with in this chamber. Okay? We elect somebody to control this room, to make sure we have decorum in this room and honor in this room. Right? There are proper ways to handle things and there are improper ways to handle things. It'll be debated probably for a long time. What happened yesterday? Right, wrong? Was it handled correctly? Okay? Let me tell you something. Certain people use this as theater. Certain people plan things to be able to raise money. They play on people's emotions. They play on what people want to hear at home because they think that's going to get them to their next step. I'm not here for that. The man that I elected to control this chamber is not here for that. Debate what happened yesterday all you want. Call it what you want to call it. Okay? But I'm going to stand here for the truth. I'm going to stand here for the district of 121 that I represent so proudly. I'm going to stand here for you, my friends, my family. And I'm proud to be run, for this chamber to be run the way it is running.
Gentlemen,
Thank
let's
you.
conclude. Thank you. Representative James Burchett is recognized for a afternoon order in the morning. Representative Burchett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Chairman Wiedauer. I appreciate your words. I also want to come back up here and just say hello and welcome to the session for 2025. It has started off with a bang, and I want you guys to have a good weekend. But I want to center us back to what we're here to do, and that's to govern the state of Georgia. And I want to reflect on something that another one of our colleagues just came up and reflected on in Representative Hutchinson. In the State of the State yesterday, the governor mentioned one of his priorities as being education and funding our schools, to harden our schools and assure that what happened in Appalachia does not happen again. And I am happy that Representative Hutchinson is in support, and I hope everybody in this chamber will be in support, and I think that we are. I think this is one area that we have been able to rally behind each other in that we can protect our children. And I want to end today on a light note and say that I appreciate each and every one of you all here. I hope you have a great and grand and lovely 3-day weekend, because I think we need it already. And I hope to see you all back on Monday. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You coming on Monday, you're going to be by yourself. But you come on. I'm coming on Tuesday. That concludes our afternoon orders in the morning, so we'll move on to announcements at this time. Representative Gamble. He may have had to escort his, oh, there he comes. Representative Gamble, Representative Matt Gamble. You have the well, sir. And friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm joined by Representative Neal, and we are the co-chairs for the Japan Caucus. And so we want to invite everyone to Japan Day on Tuesday, the 21st, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. here in the Capitol on the South Steps. They'll be set up, and they'll have many companies from Japan. Our consulate from Japan, who is based here in Atlanta, will be here as well. There's also a reception later that evening. You have the information on your desk, and we wanted to invite all members. Representative Neal, would you like to say anything?
I just want to say thank you so much. We are so happy to represent you all on the Georgia-Japanese Council, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
And then one other quick thing, Mr. Speaker, ARAD Day for the Addiction and Recovery is also on Tuesday. So if you have been involved with the working group on addiction and recovery and the Jeff Breedlove and the Georgia Council on Recovery, they will also be here on Tuesday in the Capitol, and I encourage y'all to come and be involved with those festivities as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks to both of y'all for those announcements. Representative Neal, you just kind of wove your way in there on that, didn't you? But that's fine. So I encourage all of you, since there probably won't be a large crowd here from this house. If you're here, make sure you make a special effort to attend and greet these folks and learn more. Representative Gaines, let's hear from you. You have an announcement. You're not playing football Monday, but you got to have an announcement.
Unfortunately not. I wish we were going to be in Mercedes-Benz on Monday, but Chairman Hatchett asked me to make an announcement to remind everyone that appropriations hearings are next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if you haven't already, budget books are ready in 412 CLOB. So just a reminder, look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Yeah, you're going to be working hard there for Chairman Hatchett carrying his ward. I can tell you what, he'll put you to work. While we're on that subject, before I recognize Representative Camp, correct me there, Mr. Chairman and Vice Chair, members not on your committee can receive a per diem next week if they attend the meetings. Is that correct? In person, even if you aren't on appropriations, you will receive a per diem if you come and attend the meetings in person next week. If there's any change from that because of the weather, you will be notified. This House will be notified. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair Lady Camp is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You probably got an email from me regarding delegation rules, and also there's information on your desk regarding delegation rules. This is an important thing because this will set the tone for your delegation for the next 2 years. You've got 2 weeks to do it, so please meet with your House delegation and establish delegation rules. If you are the only person in your county, then you have established your rule. You have one. So that's easy enough. But if you have multiple people, please sit down with your fellow House members and have a discussion on how you will handle local legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. You do a great job respecting the members of this House and chairing the committee. So thanks for, and continue to encourage them to communicate with you. Thank you. Oh, that completes our business for the day. Now listen up, birthdays. We won't be here obviously next week to celebrate birthdays. So I'm going to call some birthdays out. I'm not going to tell your age, but I'm going to ask you to stand because we have a number of you. And then we're going to celebrate with you all at one time here in just a moment. So when I call your name, if you'll stand, that would be appropriate. First one's already standing. Scotty Long. Birthday's January 18th. Mr. Clerk, obviously you didn't hear my admonition. You have to follow the rules of the House, Mr. Clerk. On Monday, January the 20th, Chairman Gerald Green has a birthday. Chairman Gerald Green. On Wednesday, January the 22nd, Representative John LaHood. He's already off celebrating somewhere. On Thursday, wow, the old white-headed man down here, Chairman Noel Williams had a birthday. On Thursday as well, Representative Robert Flanoy has a birthday. Robert, happy birthday, buddy. On Friday, down in South Georgia on the coast, Representative Ann Allen Westbrook has a birthday. Happy birthday. And on Saturday, January the 25th, is Representative Kerry Vick. And on, oh, that's you. You've been promoted. I don't know about that. Excuse me. The incomparable Kerry Vick has a birthday. On Sunday, Representative Carlton Howard over in Augusta has a birthday. Carlton. All right, let's all wish all of these members and staff from the clerk's office happy birthday, y'all, and many, many more. Ready, Mr. Majority Leader? Majority Leader of this House is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Monday, January 27th, 2025.
On the motion, Majority Leader Estration, that this House stands adjourned until 10 a.m. Monday, January 27th. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed will say no. Pretty close, but the ayes clearly have it. We're adjourned. Y'all be safe and have a good. Join us downstairs for the MLK celebration with the governor, and then I hope you all have a good, safe weekend. See you back here on the 27th. Thank you.